What's good? What's good? It's your boy Mario. Checking in, man. Right now, man, we're looking at Bitcoin, BTC, man. I'm at BTC shorts. I'm gonna go over this trade uh, just to display why I got in it and where what I plan on it doing with them. So let's get into it. So Friday, this is the 48-minute chart. Friday, I saw price broke this high right here, and this high right here was respecting these highs over here. And these highs over here came from this big drop right here. So price has been in a downtrend and it broke a major resistance, right? So when I saw that happening, I went to the daily time frame to try to understand what's going on the daily. So let me explain this as well. The way that I used to trade is the same thing that I'm doing now, or the same methodology that I used in this trade. It's the same strategy and the same methodology that I was trying to always use as far as trading key zones or trading key levels, right? But the perspective I was looking at the market in was totally wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I went back and actually did more studying on liquidity, did more studying on mitigations, and just really dove into those two things because the first strategy that I once learned, solid strategy, was supply and demand. So once I understood supply and demand, I understood institutional order flow, and I kind of just stopped there. And uh, I I had ran into ICT videos, and that's when I kind of started diving into liquidation and mitigation and all of that things, right? And just studying institutional order flow more. But the things that I learned about institutional order flow, I was mixing it with retail logic. I was mixing that strategy with retail strategies. And that was the main thing that was confusing me in a lot of trades that I lose because I noticed that, most trades that I lose, I'll be right, but the timing or just that bias at that moment was just wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go into BTC now. So I noticed that we had both these daily highs over here. So once I noticed that we broke these daily highs over here, I knew that if price was to trade through it and come back into it and reject that area, then we could be looking for sales, right? So let's just go back here. Let's go back here. So notice how back here, price was respecting this resistance, right? We had multiple flat tops right here on the daily chart, and notice how price came and broke through that resistance and fell back through this structure right here. So once we had the fall back through this structure right here, once we had this structure right here to break this structure, then this was the area right here that they got taken out, right? So notice how price fell and even broke this structure low right here. So once it broke this structure low right here, this was the area that needed to get mitigated. See what I'm saying? So these buys that they use to sell this order right here, this little zone right here, or better yet, I was even much so targeting this candle right here. I was even more so targeting this specific candle right here. So this right here is the quote unquote order block. You know what I'm saying? And this buy was the buy that the banks use to sell. So they bought it to sell on this counter right here. So this was the order that needed to get mitigated. So once I realized that, uh, I realized that we also had a level of imbalance right here, right above these daily highs. So once I saw all of that, that's when I noticed that. That's when I noticed that price was in this same area above these highs. So let me stretch this out now. So that's when I noticed price was in this same area. So what I did was I dropped down to the 4 hour. So when I dropped down to the 4 hour, so to the 5. So notice how this is the big buy move that they use to take out these equal highs right here. So they bought it to sell it. This was the sell off. Notice how this candle right here and this structure up here really didn't have any big retest. So you really don't see a big retest off of this down move right here, meaning um, that it's a level imbalance right here. So that means that it's a lot of orders up here, and I'm also seeing a lot of orders down here and below these lows right here. So once they made price drop, they broke a trend line and made some flat tops right here, made a double bottom, and then dropped price more to make another double bottom and brought price back up. So once they broke past these equal highs right here and right here to go back into this area right here where it's an imbalance, that's why I was in tune for the sale. That's the first thing that I noticed. So let me put, all right, so I actually do got it right there. So I put it right here because I'm looking at these big candles right here. These are, I'm looking to notice how these big candles right here and then these big candles right here. Those are the big boys. Okay, those are the big boys. Those are the moves that they those are the orders that they use to buy price up to break these highs and then to sell it out. So these were some orders that they had to mitigate. So now that we hit those levels right there, I started looking at price action right here. Once I understood the high we were in, I started looking at price action right here and trying to realize what's going on right here. So this double bottom, once I saw this area being broken right here, I knew that we had buyers below these lows and definitely a lot of buyers below these lows right here. So the fact that we're grabbing this liquidity up here um, is my anticipation to get the liquidity from up here to move down to grab these orders down here below these lows and these lows. So notice how price once it got to I really don't want to start my chart over. I'll tell you what, this is what I do. Just add another one real quick. Another chart so I can do this one. Here we go. Then all right, cool. All right, so notice um this kind of right here, it stopped at that level right there, making it seem as if we was going to reject it. So I knew you had sellers right here. They placed their stops right there, and then you had buyers right here. So you had sellers that started shorting this candle, thinking that it was a double bottom. And remember, this candle was a right here, so let's go back on the replay thing. So remember, you got sellers shorting this resistance right there. Because this is something that I used to kind of do too. This is where I used to mess up. All right. So this is why I used to mix retail logic with institutional order flow. All right. So this would be resistance, right? So soon as price break resistance, and the first red candle that I see, this first pullback candle that I see, that's when I start shorting, right? So I used to start shorting this move as well. You know what I'm saying? price break a high, come to a old high, and start respecting that one, then I'll short it. Okay, but as I said, that was also me using institutional order flow methodology with retail strategies. You feel me? So let's let's try to the 2 hour. So a lot of people are shorting this, and a lot of people are already buying it from. So the banks use this move right here. They use this move to break these equal lows. So this sell right here for this buy right here was the banks right here, right? So once retail traders seeing this big up move counter, you had people buying all of this up move right here. So basically, you got a lot of buys down here, right? So you got a lot of liquidity down there, right? Below that low right there. Plus you also have an order block that the banks need to mitigate down here. You got this sell order down here that they need to mitigate right here. All right, so then you had this breakout, right? So you already got buyers in the market and you got sellers in the market because remember, people also was selling these tops, thinking, these are double tops or head and shoulders. And then people looking at this trend line. So people probably looking at this trend line breaking retest. So you got people short right here as well. You know what I'm saying? So these zones, these losses are what stop losses are, right? So you got people short right there as well. People looking at this, they saying, hey, price came and rejected that area up there. We should be headed back down for these lows. So you got sales, retail sellers seeing that logic, and you got retail buyers seeing this little flag or whatever this is. You know what I'm saying? Probably expecting some kind of pullback to buy again or whatever the case may be. So let's just lay it out a little bit. So the retailers see this, they get happy. They probably see this support break right here, probably seeing this and probably entering more sales. Buyers on the other hand, I feel that this is the correction from this move to buy some more. So you got a lot of liquidity building up in this area, right? All right, boom. So buyers probably saw how price broke out above this high right here. So buyers probably see how price broke out above this high. The sellers that was in this zone, got taken out. All the sellers just got taken out from this up move right here. Because remember, the sellers had their stops right here. All the sellers that sold this top had their stops right here. Along with the sellers that had stops, had shorts in this move right here. After this big move, you had retail sellers shorting these tops right here. So they also had liquidity up here from retail traders, right? So now we just broke through that level. We just grabbed that liquidity, and we also just got more buyers in the market because the buyers seeing this as a breaker retest. So now they enter more buys as well. So now, and you got the retail sellers that see this pullback and also selling this pullback because they're looking at those highs to the left. See what happened? All right, so boom. The sellers they sold this little move right here, especially this little double top. Sellers that just sold this double top, the retail sellers just got taken out. But now you got more buyers because now the buyers seeing this double bottom. People that bought this breakout, they buying even more on this breakout and this double bottom. So now you got a lot of buy liquidity, but you really got no sellers. You feel what I'm saying? So now all the liquidity on the downside, plus on top of that, we're mitigating these orders from back here, mitigating these loans right here. So remember we had to go long to short. Feel me? And we broke that structure from this high up here. But this high was created from this structure right here. See what I'm saying? So that's where that's where we started mitigating orders, right? On the higher time frame. Let's drop back to the lower time frame. But remember, um, in the retail mindset, this is in the buy. You feel me? This thing is in the strong buy. All right. So let's see what happens. So boom, price shoot up more. Now you got even more people buying this engulfing and this indecision plus this bullish candle. You got more people buying that as well. Now you got more people in the market for buys. Looking at this as a nice break at retail. You got retail support resistance showing it's buying this, seeing it as a break on retail on a smaller time frame, right? So and they probably putting their stocks down there as well. So let's see what happens. All right, boom. So notice how after this bullish candle, right? So this bullish candle went. Notice how this bullish candle traded into these candles, right? So it's kind of more so traded into this order block right here. All right, and a big huge order block right there. Um, and notice how price traded above these equal highs right here. Notice how price traded above it. So we just took out all of those sellers, any retail sellers right here, any retail sellers, because the retail sellers, not many retail sellers caught this move right here. You feel me? But they were shorting these tops right here. So all these retail shorts are liquidated right here. Plus we mitigated bank positions to the left, right? So just follow me and try to, because this is institutional order flow. Like when I used to strictly trade supply and demand, I used to have to actually follow price like this versus trying to just look at an indicator and then looking at a support list like retail shit. You feel me? But understanding why price did what it did is a part of institutional order flow strategy. You feel me? But anyway, so let's drop it down to the right. So notice how this right here is a high and this is a low. This right here is a high and then this is a low. So this was a break of structure right here. This whole area right here was a break of structure. So that was a break of structure right there. So this down move right here is a break of structure, right? And so obviously for them to break structure, they had to buy. This was the buy move that broke the structure right here. This candle was the buy move that broke the structure, right? So this was the last high before we broke structures, right? So this was the candle that they had to use to buy in order to make it go down, right? So let's see. All right, so cool. All right, let me highlight this area right. So this was the buy position they had to buy before they sold off, right? The break structure from this high, right? The support high. So this candle right here is the bank's candle, right? So let's drop down to the 15 minute. And you notice I sectioned out this order block, right? So let's drop down to the 30 minute. So on the 30 minute, you can see how we had this high, this low, and then this high right here made a low, and then it made a high, a lower high, and then it made a lower low. That was the breaker structure right there. And then notice how we even came down to break this structure right here. That this low that made this high right here. So this right here is the candle we're looking at, right? So we're looking at this candle, and then we're looking at everything in this gray area as an order block. So when price, let's see exactly when did I enter this trade. Yeah, they do that. So, all right. So notice how we making like this. Notice how we making like this head and shoulders, right? So I didn't enter just yet because honestly, I was waiting for a pop back above this high a little bit and to short that, right? And then I started getting more and more detailed with my analysis to find this order block right here. So I can even refine it right here. Refine it right here. So notice how price making like this head and shoulders, this inverted head and shoulders. So the fact that we're making this inverted head and shoulders, let me go out to the back. The fact that we're making this inverted head and shoulders, now you got more people buying this. So all the buyers, you got a lot of buyers, retail buyers, you got a lot of buyers buying this move right here in this range, okay? Especially after seeing this inverted head and shoulders, right? You got this inverted head and shoulders, and then you got price line respecting this little demand area right here, okay? So, plus you got this little bottom right here that people feel like price broke out, and it's just a retail support and resistance trade, so trade buying as well. They feel like it's a support, okay? So, and you got people shorting this as well. Okay, so you got people that shorted this move right here. You got people that shorted this move right here, and then you got liquidity above here, you got liquidity above here. Let's see. So when this happened, let me go to the 5-minute chart. So when this happened right here. So remember now, I was at first waiting for price to break above these equal highs right here. I was waiting for price to break above these equal highs right here. Right? And then once I started to really look at price. So this is when I just started to really look at price. If I didn't really look at price at this moment, I wouldn't have caught this short. Feel me? Because remember, I was waiting. I was exclusively going to wait on it to pop above there and then drop. But it didn't do that. And that's one thing I'm accepting with price action. Just because you get to an area, you know what I'm saying, that doesn't mean it's going to do what you want to see. You got to let it play out, right? So once people saw this down move right here, I'm pretty sure you had people shorting this move right here. Okay, so remember, this was the move that took out the shorts right here. This was the move that took out the shorts. All right, so this was the area that took out the shorts. That was that big counter that took out the shorts. So it was no more retail shorts in this move. And then once the retailers probably saw this move right here, they started shorting. They started shorting this top probably, and they probably started shorting this seemed to be breaking retest right now. So let me go back to understand. So retail traders probably seen this and said that you got a trend line, you got that trend line, then you got this trend line break. So you got retail traders that seen that after they pushed up and they started shorting this top right here. And you probably got retail traders shorting this top right here, right? So now we building some more sell liquidity before we go to the downside. Because remember, we just took out all the sell liquidity in this zone by hitting this high, mitigating these longs already. So now we just distributing, building up liquidity, right? So you got shorts out here. Remember, we got all these buyers down to the downside, right? So we got a bunch of pools of liquidity to the downside, right? So that move right there was the move that took out any retail shorts. They short this move right here, okay? But this counter right here, in order for them to take out these orders, they had to buy this counter, right? All right. So let's pay attention to this counter right here. Pay attention to this counter right here. So let's pay attention to this area as press going on. So we know retail traders just got took out. Plus we got buyers that just probably bought this down move right here off of this little trend line. Okay. Now you got buyers in the market and still in the market as well. All right, boom. So let's see, we're gonna take out these lows first. All right, so notice how price coming to these lows. So we do. Notice how we took out these lows. So now we just took out the buyers right here, and you got more retail sellers after being took out right here, entering shorts off of this downtrend of the move. Right, retail shorts above these equal highs right here. All right, so now we got more liquidity back up here, right? So let's see what price is. See, we're gonna take out them shorts, drop it. Retailers are getting happy as fuck. We breaking these lows right here. So this looks like a break of retail. So now you got even more people short in this move. Let's see what happens. All right, so people that's short in this move, right? Where you think they got their stuff? They got their stuff for these highs and shit like that, right? So it's a lot of retail shorts right here. Plus, on top of that, I'm pretty sure that you had people buying that as well. All right. Let's see what happens. So price making a little bottom. Let's see the tops. All right, boom. So now we just took out some retail shorts. Our retail shorts, they entered right here. We took them out, right? Plus, we're coming near this mitigation zone. So let's look. Let's see what happens. So we got people that's probably long on this move as well. I'm just building up liquidity. And once I saw it was in the range, I just started looking at it, started watching. Now you got even more shorts up here. You got more shorts shorting this top. And you got people that was long right here, just got taken out. So I just building up. Now the liquidity up here, right? So the liquidity up there. So now I'm looking at how, in fact, they took out the liquidity down here. This counter right here. So now I'm looking at that counter right there. But they had to buy this counter to make this down move. So this is the zone that they would need to mitigate to go down, right? Let's see what happens. All right, boom. So notice how price went straight into that area, right? All right, so let's see what happens. All right, so we got break of structure. So once I saw that, so boom, we got a nice break of structure. All the people that started shorting these moves after they took out shorts right here, right? Everybody that started shorting this move just got taken out again, right? And now we got even more buyers down there. Let's see what happens. So you got more buyers. You got people entering shorts right here. You got people entering shorts right here, based off of this little top right here, based off this little trend line move, based off of this trend line break. You can see how back and forth. The reason I'm doing this is because when the person that I've been studying, right, did this, it was like he was explaining this shit back and forth, right? And the shit made sense, but the shit just sounded like confusion to it in a way. But really, he did that to display what's going on in the retail trader's mind. So all this back and forth I'm doing is the back and forth that's going on in retail traders' mind when they're trading. Mm-hmm. And the retail traders that short this just got taken out. All right. So remember this counter right here, this counter right here took out shorts right here. So we're still in the mitigation zone right here. Still in mitigation zone right here. All right, and we got more longs to the downside. All right, boom. So when this move right here happened, all right, so when this move right here happened, right, this is when I started paying attention. because I knew it was no more retail shorts over here, but it was a whole bunch of bodies down here. All right, that's what I knew at that moment. Okay, so once I saw that, this is what I started looking for. And notice. All right, so you had retail shorts. Let's go back right here. You had people shorting this top, right? And you had people shorting this top right here. So they got stops above here and above here. And you got all these buyers down here. But let's just stay focused on the retail shorts. So all the shorts are right here. All the retail shorts are right here. Once they bought price right here, notice how they bought price right here. Take this out. Once they bought price right here in this counter, notice how price shot up. So this was the counter that actually broke the highs, right? Price shot up, took out those orders, and then came back down and broke this structure right here. We broke this structure right here. So this swing low to make this swing high, we broke this structure when we came back down. So we had to buy this structure to sell this structure. So these was the lines that we had to mitigate in this area. This is where I look for my sales. All right. All right. And then I went even deeper to look at price action right here. So once I saw this, I knew that this down move had no retail shorts in it. All right. I knew they had no retail shorts in it. So when people do start shorting this move, all the orders are going to be from this level of imbalance below. All right. And then notice, like I said, this level of imbalance as well hasn't been tested. All right. So let's just fast forward a little bit. So notice how price made a top and it's dropping. Nice look like it's breaking retest. So now you got people in shorts again, which is exactly what they want for the rest of the downside. So people are probably in more shorts because they see prices dropping, respecting this little trend line looking structure. All right. So prices are dropping. All right, so price drop and T and people that shorted right here, they got their stops right here. And all the people that went long had they stops all over here. So now we taking our buy side liquidity as well. See what happened? So you had this little trend line break right here. You had people that went long right here as well. And they put their stops below this structure and this low. Plus you still had these retail loans with stops below their low as well. So now you probably got even more retail shorts selling this double top right here. You got people, trend lines are so subjective. You got people that think that this is a trend line as well. And notice how price broke that momentum and created like this little inverted head and shoulders, right? So let's see what it does. So once it started taking out this high right here, it hit my alert. And we notice how we started trading into this level of imbalance right here. All right. So this is where I took my longs right here. It was more so like as soon as it hit the level of imbalance, I'm going long because I was cool with my risk. My stop was up here. I placed my stop above this up here. So I knew I was gonna be cool just entering the market. Fuck the pattern. I ain't trading the pattern, I'm trading the level, you feel me? So when the price got right there, I was in my longs. Alright. So I took my shorts right here. Took my shorts right here. Cause I know that once we blow out these equal highs, right? Once we blow out these equal highs and come back into this over imbalance to mitigate these orders, we should be headed to the downside to get more buy side liquidity. I'm sorry, sell side liquidity. All right. And then you got retail traders behind this now because they see this trend line break and now they looking at this up here and looking at this inverted head and shoulders thinking that price is gonna shoot up. So let's see what happens. So price came into that area just some more. Right? Had a rejection, had a nice fall. But all right, so notice how price fell straight from that level right there. All right, so let me go back to 2 minutes. So now that we mitigated these orders, right? I was looking for price to break this though, right? Because I know there's no more sellers in this zone. Nothing but liquidity to the downside. Now I was looking for price to take out these lows right here. All right, so let's see what happened. All right, so man, price is fucking fail. Yeah, that shit had happened quick. All right, looking on phone, that shit just like boom. All right, so when I first got in the trade, I had already had targets. So this was my target. All right, my bad. 300, it's like 4,300. So I already had targets of it going like real low. Real low. All right, I already had targets right here. And I'm gonna explain why those are my targets. Alright, so notice that the last swing low was down here. I knew that down here is where the liquidity was if we rejected this area up here. All right, so I can get deeper into why my targets was down there, but I want to just follow this trade for a second. So let's go to the 15 minute. So once I saw price drop like that, right? The first area that I knew would get taken out was this area right here. All right, so that's the area that I knew would get taken out. All right, so because in order to go into this buy where we broke the structure right here, in order to go into this buy, right, and create this buy move and then create the sell move, they had to have buy orders right here. So they had to mitigate these buy orders to do anything else. So I knew that we was coming to this level for sure. So once we got here, that's when I started, watching price action. Let's see what price action did. All right, so I just leave price out of there to where we are now. So this where we are now. All right, so cool. So notice how when we got there, right, price bounced off of it and came back, created that double bottom. And then what did that do, right? So what that did is we took out all shorts, right? We took out all the shorts right here. So it's no shorts in this move right here. No retail shorts. Plus we just took out a bunch of buy side, a bunch of buys liquidity, right? So now that I know that people started shorting these tops right here. Plus they see this people probably saw this right here. Let me take this off. So people probably saw this right here. Start shorting that little down move right there. Um, you had people that probably saw this. But they probably seen that after the fact, but they probably was shorting that right there because this right here, this candle right here. Try not to jump ahead of myself, but right, so basically, when this move happened, you had a lot of people to see that, right? So where is people seeing? So you got all the buyers. Remember, it was a ton of retail buyers in this zone. They just got taken out. So at this point, there's no retail buyers up here, right? And the retail shorts, they see this right here. So they see this and they thinking, hey, it's a trend line break. Some people probably shorted this thinking it was the retest of the trend line, right? And then some people shorted all this thinking it was tops or a trend line move to the downside. So they hit they stops above this high right here. So all the retail trades they shorted this structure and they stops above here. Right? And plus you got people that's buying this inverted head and shoulders. You got people that's buying this dip because it hit this support right here. You got supply and demand traders that's gonna buy this demand level. You got support and resistance traders that's gonna buy this support level, and you got structured bottom traders that trade bottoms going to buy this bottom. You know what I'm saying? And then you got trend line traders that when they see this trend line break right here, they're gonna buy this trend line break. So you got a lot of buy side liquidity. Remember, the sell side liquidity just got taken out. This up move right here. So this move they use to go up. The move they use to go up. So this move right here took out shorts. Because even people that held their shorts from this pullback right here, they probably entered more shorts after seeing this double top, got excited when it dropped some, and then sold even more, thinking it was respecting this resistance right here, right? And people probably shorted again once it got to this resistance. You know what I'm saying? And it got stumped out, blew out right here. This counter right here mitigated this price action right here. Because remember, in order to create this down move, we had to buy into that move to sell off. So this was a level of mitigation for the banks. Feel me? So notice how this kind of came up, teed that level right there, mitigated those orders, and then price fell. So not only we just mitigated those orders, but we just took out sellers, and then we got a whole bunch of buyers active. What setup does this look like? This is the same setup on the fucking daily. This is the same setup on the daily time frame. You feel me? It's the same scenario on the daily fucking time frame. You feel me? That's crazy, but yeah. So this is price now. You feel me? This is price now. This I just basically broke down. I got in that trade, but I also broke down, how and why I'm following price. You know what I'm saying? So now that we know that we just took out shorts, so we have no shorts in the market. So now we can go down and start taking out some more buy side liquidity. But where is our buy side liquidity? Well, we know. We drop back up to the favorite. So we already know that we have a ton of buy orders from this structure right here, right? That hasn't been taken out. And then another level that I'm looking at. This is my next level of interest right here. This low right here. This next level right here. So I know when we get to this level right here, right? We got some liquidity down there. So I know that's what we hit it. All right. So notice how back here, price made these tops. You had people that shorted this move, right? You had people that had these had shorts right here from these tops, right? You had people that bought down here, and people that bought down here. So in order for them to create this move, right? This is what I'm saying in this structure. So this swing low right here broke these equal lows right here. So this swing low, swing high, right? They had to sell into this to make this not move, right? So this right here, this is the level of imbalance that I'm looking at. Notice right below that low, we got this nice counter right here. So notice this counter right here. Notice this counter right here broke out to take out all the highs, right? And we haven't came back into retesting that level. Feel me? Plus this counter right here also is a nice imbalance counter. You feel me? So I know we got a lot of liquidity along in here. Plus the banks have to mitigate down here, right? So this is the area that I'm looking at. Go to the 1 hour. So along with the technique, right? So this is the day. On the 30th is the day that we broke and mitigated those orders on the high time frame. So what I did was look back 3 days prior. I looked back 3 days prior, and these blue lines represent the new daily opening, right? So this day before that we broke through these highs, right? This day before, this was a swing low into that day, and this was the low of the day right here. So basically, when price reverses, right, and starts trading into the when the order flow changes, right? When we go to sell side to buy side or buy side to sell side. So once we know that we took it out our buy side liquidity, right? And we're looking for sell side liquidity. Well, we going to go to the downside, right? And we need to look for where the liquidity is. And so 9 times out of 10, if we're going down, right, in a downtrend, we're expecting each day to break the previous daily low. You feel me? So that's just the simple objective when it comes to me finding my targets as well. Where's the next day? Where's the previous daily low? And where's the liquidity in that low? You feel me? So that's why my target is down here, and then I also have targets down here, and ultimately down here below these. So this right here has to get mitigated as well. So notice to make this whole big up move, right? They had to sell and then buy. So they have orders right here. They got sell orders right here that they have to mitigate as well. So they had to sell into this move. This was the candle that actually broke the low right here. So this to sell into past this low. You know what I mean? Grabbing in liquidity before we go up. So this was the bank counter that they had to sell. So now the liquidity down there as well. So ultimately, this is where I want to see price run into. You feel me? But I know we have to get here first and have to mitigate these orders, and then probably see some kind of swing back up to mitigate. So see, I noticed like when it comes to this strategy as well, you can have a plan for what you would like to see happen. But honestly, the cool thing about this is what I used to like about supply and demand. When I used to trade supply and demand strictly, I used to do a lot of scalping because I found out that you can use supply and demand to your benefit and just trade structure to structure. I used to call it trade structure to structure. Well, now that I think about it, I really wasn't trading structure to structure. I was trading from liquidity pool to the next liquidity pool. You feel me? So once price grab liquidity from an area, then it's trying to take that liquidity to another area. You feel me? To mitigate orders. You feel me? So institutional order flow, bro, is something that I dove to into the past, but I didn't take it serious type shit, right? I didn't take it serious. I didn't think it was, you know, it's not really a strategy, it's a methodology. You feel me? So, that's just me looking at this market with that methodology. And notice I took out my indicators, you feel me? Straight price action. You know what I'm saying? So, um, this is the Bitcoin trade, man. Nice Bitcoin trade. I got some shorts up here running. I got some shorts that I entered again right here because I understood what was going on. So I got more shorts right here. My shorts up here, shorts right here, and I got shorts right here on this week. Let me show you what's that. So here's my position. So I got that first short. I had scaled out and left a runner from those positions up there. We mitigated this order block right here. And we mitigated this move right here to go low. So once I saw that, remember I said that I knew that this had to be mitigated. This up move to go down had to be mitigated. So this was the level of interest. Once it came back up And that's why I shorted it again to go back down, go past this these bottoms right here. So, but that's Bitcoin, man. Honestly, bro, um, I do see, I do see a price down move. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? Overall, this is like this is once we go past those bottoms right here, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get to these bottoms and we're gonna go past them. And when we do, this is the next level. This is where we're headed. Because honestly, I don't see no shorts right here. There's no shorts right here. So there's no shorts right here. So any shorts that's in the market is right here. As far as retail, when I look at it from the retail standpoint, all the shorts is like right here at this level. So all the shorts is right here. If it's any more shorts, right, all the shorts is right here. Oh shit. So and all the shorts is like in those liquidity pools right here. Feel me? So and this is also like a level of imbalance as well. So notice how once we broke down right here, so price sold off to go up. Once we broke out, we really didn't have retest. Had this nice they call liquidity pools or some shit, but it didn't really kind of mitigate it or whatever. So now I'm looking for a mitigation of this structure right here. Price came into this structure right here. Which is every single thousand. So honestly, when I did the math, so the highest Bitcoin ever went was 64,899 dollars. That's the highest price point Bitcoin ever traded to. If you divide that by half, it's 32,449.50. All right, let's put that on the chart. So I say 30, I say 34, 32, 449, 32, 449, 50 cents. Notice how 50% of its value is in this mitigation area. You feel me? So I'm pretty for sure that we probably could be coming to blow out these steep lows right here. You know what I'm saying? Just to mitigate this whole order block right here. You know what I mean? And see some kind of movement from there. But then we get there. This is Mario. Appreciate y'all watching, man. It's a nice breakdown on Bitcoin, going over Bitcoin with the institutional order flow methodology, and just showing y'all my setup, showing y'all real time trade, showing y'all my plan for the trade, showing y'all what I got in the trade. I feel real confident this week. You know what I mean? The last 3 weeks was fucking bad, but new month, you know what I mean? New week, new day. Let's get it. Appreciate y'all watching.